Right, recording. So, hi you guys, good morning, and welcome to my channel. I hope that all of you are good today. We're gonna check out a clip from the Joe Rogan podcast. I have not seen this episode. This video is with Lennox Lewis. Sheesh. This video is called Lennox Lewis on first meeting Mike Tyson. So, I haven't heard that story, so I'm excited to check this one out. And I'm not gonna ramble. Let's get straight into this video. And look at the old picture. Alrighty. Let's see.
But you don't ever work out boxing-wise anymore.
Yeah.
But you don't hit a bag.
My son's 15, and I know he wants to box. So anytime we get a chance, I'm always training him.
That's
How big
good.
is he now?
6 feet.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He's taller than you.
Tyson's son. Tyson's son is 16.
Oh, Miguel, yeah.
And Tyson's son was saying that he wants to box too. Tyson's.
How tall is 6 feet in centimeters? I'm 5'2". And I stopped growing a long time ago. They're still growing, like 15, 16.
Like, listen, man.
No, Miguel's not built like that.
But he's also saying, listen, you grew up soft, and he's saying like you don't want to meet someone like me.
That's true.
Like the way he was.
Yeah, I know
He's,
Mike's. I know
saying,
Mike's
like,
kids.
You don't want to meet some animal like me. Like when he was fighting, like he thinks of what he would have done to his own sons. Like, oh, don't do that. Like he was talking about it on the podcast.
And his son Miguel's a
We
really
watched that.
talented kid.
I will have a link to that conversation clip from it that we checked out.
Like musician-wise,
Yeah.
he can play like 7 different instruments. And
Wow.
He speaks Spanish.
Wow.
The kid's really,
That's
and he's a
amazing.
really smart, nice kid.
Well, Tyson's a smart guy. He's not like he.
Oh,
has
I think people mistake Tyson for being
Yes,
a dummy.
he's very smart.
very, very intelligent,
Listen,
well-read.
The boxing is, in at least some levels, a very, very intellectual pursuit.
Yeah.
You have to have a strong mind to be able to dodge those punches, get in, and get yours in. You have to. You have to be able to sort out that problem. There's a problem in front of you. The problem is another man who's the same weight as you, the same size as you. He's got gloves on just like you do, and he's trying to do what you're trying to do to him.
And you have to do that within seconds.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Punches thrown at you. What do you do? What's the rebuttal?
Yeah, people don't understand. They think just because someone doesn't have the best vocabulary or because they don't have a comprehensive education that they're not intelligent. And that's a big mistake.
No. Tyson's intelligent. I remember going to the Catskills when I won the World Junior Championships in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. And I remember the American team was saying, oh, well, you never fought the best. I'm like, didn't fight the best. I thought Americans said the best team. Yeah, but one guy, he doesn't like taking planes, and his manager don't like taking planes either. So I'm like, who's that? And they told me it was Mike Tyson, Cus D'Amato. So me and my trainer, we left Canada, and we drove all the way up there. And while we were up there, Razor Ruddock was up there, and they said, oh, Razor Ruddock didn't spar with us. I said, okay, I'll spar with you. I'm here for 4 days. So first time Tyson
Sparring is the training, right?
actually met me, he was a nice guy, really nice guy. He took me in his room, showed me some old flicks that I've never seen before of old-time fighters. He would tell me about each fighter, like he studied them. And then, this is where he got his his style of fighting from. And first day in the gym, bell went. He came across and he was trying to kill me. I did my Muhammad Ali thing. Obviously, stayed away from his power. But the first day was really hectic, and then the second day was a little hectic, and it got better as it went along. And the last day I got actually the better of him the last day. Mm-hmm. And I remember Cus D'Amato saying, "Mike, you're gonna meet him someday. Don't you do that?" And that always echoed in my mind. That, will we ever fight? Will we ever fight? Because Cus D'Amato said that we're
You
gonna
met
fight.
Cus too.
Wow.
And it did happen.
And there's footage of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lennox has the footage of it.
Footage of the training
Of the
sessions.
sparring.
I got
How old was Tyson at the
goosebumps.
time?
Tyson was he was about 52.
No. How old was he at the time?
Oh, at the time?
15.
He was younger than me. I was 17. He was about 17.
Wow.
At the time, yeah. I was 18.
No, he was younger than that.
That must have been
Yeah,
crazy.
because it was 84. It was before the Empire State Games and everything. 'Cause you went up there before you went to the 84 Olympics.
Yeah.
Well, it must have been crazy though, knowing that you guys were going to be a part of boxing history, and knowing that all the way back then, being a teenager, and standing in front and hearing Cus D'Amato scream that out. That must have been intense.
It was intense because Cus D'Amato wasn't that loud. When he all of a sudden he became loud, it was like everybody listened. You know, and then there's certain ways that you get across to people, and some people you have to shout at them.
Did you ever wish that you fought him in his prime?
In essence, I did fight him in his prime, and when you say prime, I was in my prime too.
But you were definitely in your prime. You were, but I feel like his enthusiasm had waned before then. This is my perception.
Yeah, how I look at that whole thing is Mike Tyson was an early bloomer. I was a late bloomer. So when both of us meet, there's never a perfect time. Perfect time for us is when we meet in the middle.
Right.
And
right. And if he won, maybe people would look at it differently. Right.
Yeah.
It's because you beat him and beat him so soundly.
Right.
That people look at it like maybe his time had already been gone.
Yeah, Lennox turned pro after Mike had already had a defeat.
Wow, no kidding.
Lennox turned pro in '89.
Wow, I never even thought of that.
And Mike lost in January of
Look
'89.
at
Yeah, this is us up in Catskill.
Oh, look at you.
Look at
Oh my God, we see Cus D'Amato in the middle.
Kevin Rooney.
Wow, that is crazy,
Oh,
man.
wow.
God, that's crazy.
He was built back then too. He had a big neck.
Yeah, he was always doing those neck bridges, but he also just had freak genetics. I mean, just a phenomenal genetic specimen.
If you don't do anything with those genetics, I mean, it's genetics, but the work, the discipline,
had Teddy Atlas in here, and Teddy Atlas used to take Mike to the smokers when he was 13. And Teddy was joking around about it. He said everybody always lied about how old people were. They would tell you the kid was 16 when really he was 20. They always did that. And he said, he goes, so how old is this kid? He goes, 13. He goes, what does he weigh? He goes, 190 pounds. I was like, what the fuck, Teddy? Come on. He's like, I'm telling you, he's fucking 13. What do you want? So, nobody would believe it because he was such a specimen.
I watched that one.
Yeah, Teddy was great, man.
Do you think he should have stayed with Teddy?
Should have stayed with Kevin and Teddy.
Well, he definitely, he was so wild. Like, how could you tell him what to do back then? That was part of the problem. I mean, no one ever prepared him. And this is one of the things that we discussed on the podcast was that he was a 12-year-old, 13-year-old boy, and he was getting hypnotized. He came from a terrible background. There was no love. He was abandoned. And all of a sudden, he's getting love and attention for something. And this one thing was this man who was telling him, you're going to be a great fighter. You're going to be a world champion. And he would hypnotize him. He was saying, you don't exist. The task exists. You're going to work the body and destroy this man. And he would put these thoughts in his head. And Mike couldn't wait to just get out there and fuck people up because that's where he got the love. That's where he got the attention from. But he never told him how to shut it off. He didn't have time to work with him because he was on his way out. He was dying when he met Mike. And so he only taught him how to destroy. He never taught him how to cope. He never taught him how to understand that there's going to be a lot of shit coming your way, and you got to know what that is. And don't get caught up in that hype train. Don't get wrapped up in Hollywood. And he wound up marrying Robin Givens, and all.
I don't think Cus foresaw all that other bullshit.
No.
How could he have?
No, if Cus was around, Mike would be totally different.
He would have been a different man. If Cus lasted another 15 years.
Even if Jimmy Jacobs had lasted another 5
chills.
years.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it would have helped. But, it's like once removed from Cus. It's like Kevin Rooney was once removed from Cus, right? And then Teddy Atlas was way more of a hard liner. Teddy Atlas you couldn't put any bullshit with. And like those other guys you just gotta go, then he got to Aaron Snowell and all those guys that were with him.
Bums. Richie Giacchetti.
They could have never brought Mike to the dance. Right? They got there when he was already at the dance and they're just trying to like maintain things and he's not listening to anybody. He's Mike Tyson.
They also weren't boxing people as far as I was concerned.
When he was up with Cus, he was in a good situation. There was a lady in the house cooking meals. They had Cus.
And it was a trust. Like I feel like he knew that he genuinely wanted the best out of him. And, taught him like, it's like a different kind of trust, love, and support when you meet someone when you're like, not at your lowest.
Us there being a father figure,
yeah,
talk to him every day, and that's what young kids need. They need that, to be spoken with by older people.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of young people nowadays are not even respecting the older people, but they can gain a lot of information from an older person. You know, how do you deal with this situation?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you hear from an older person, it kind of makes your mind think and say, you know, you're right. It works for them. So anytime I get a chance to talk to kids about, you know, their life and where they're going, always take that opportunity.
Yeah, and like I feel like people can learn from each other, like both older, especially in the generation that we live now. We can teach a lot from each other. But to have that, even me growing up, like I have refugee and immigrant parents. Like I grew up alone. I didn't have like connection with any sides of my family, so I was alone a lot. And I always, if you had like a grandma or grandpa like and spoke the same language, live in the same country, if you grew up with them, like that's people take that for granted and don't value it. And I always wonder like how it was. So that's why when I see like older people to this day, I have a conversation with them and stuff, like I think it's so interesting, and I want to ask them questions and stuff, and it kind of tears me up because like it seemed like a beautiful relationship. I even think that like older homes, where older people go, they're kind of sad, I think, when I see those you call them elder homes in English, but I even think that elder homes and like maybe kindergarten, that they should be in the same place. Because like a little child, and then a very old person, I feel like they can meet at a beautiful way because I don't know, I just feel like they can, like, the older person have like the calmness and the time, and like the kids want that constant attention, and they need someone to be patient with them at the time, and I feel like they can like click very well, but completely as far from generations as it could be. Sorry if I'm rambling, I'm just talking, we just watched the mic here, but just with Cus D'Amato, and he at the one of the worst moments in his life when he was such a young person. What if he never would have met Cus? Like, I feel like that was definitely like the best that could ever happen to him in his life. And I speak like for all of us when you just need that one person, that one belief and inspiration, whatever it could be, someone that can get the good things out of you. It's so important, so important, especially when we're young kids and teenagers and stuff. Even us, like when we grow older, like we all been there, we all been young, we needed someone. And especially when you grow up poor, like you're even more vulnerable and needing genuine people the most. But yeah, I definitely feel like it would have been different if Cus was around him longer. I've seen the documentaries and stories around them, and I feel like it's okay too to think sometimes like that it probably would have been better if things turned out differently, or it's okay to have regrets and mistakes and just admit them. Some people say I have no regrets. I'm the person I am today because I like. Nah, I think I have things that I regret, that I wish never happened, that I would have done differently and stuff in my life. I'm still like trying to be the best person I can be today and use the bad things that happen to something good that I have experience and knowledge and empathy and understanding about them. But still, yeah, definitely would have made certain things different in life. But, we can only move forward. That's the thing. It can affect the future more than the past. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm sorry. I've been rambling. Always a great video when we get to, I was gonna say see Mike, but I enjoyed the Lennox story. I never heard it before. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. Appreciate you watching. If you managed to come to the end, I don't blame you if you didn't. But like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you enjoyed, and hopefully I see you in another video. Appreciate you watching.